Welcome everybody to Fight Algorithm. I'm Tyler Bird, your host, and I'm joined by professional MMA fighter Tony the Tiger Charles. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Tony is currently the 30th ranked middleweight fighter in California.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
is 30 years old.
32.
You didn't know that?
No.
When I looked last night, it was 30th.
No, I'm 32. 32 years old.
Oh, I don't know why that
Yeah.
website said you were 30. Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I guess. You have a professional record of 3-2 at the moment?
Yeah.
Correct?
Gotta rebuild it.
Yeah. Okay, so what got you initially interested in MMA?
No, man. Honestly, it's a long, complicated story. When I was younger, I used to watch. I don't know how old you are. You probably look like you're 18, 19.
Yeah, around
Yeah,
there.
but
Almost
when I
20.
was your age, I was in school. I used to watch. Like, I didn't really care for sports, but I would come back from my dorm room and watch like UFC Unleashed and stuff like that. Actually, no, I take that back. It was my roommate at the time who got me into MMA. He was playing a clip of Brock Lesnar. I think he was fighting like Frank Mir. And at the time, I'm like, what the fuck? That's the wrestler guy? And then I seen him, I seen Frank Mir fucking, well, I forgot what the submission was, but he tapped him out. I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? It's not wrestling, but it's not boxing. It's real fighting and stuff. And then from there, that's when the session came. And I was just a super fan for the longest time. And then, but I always kind of like wanted to see if I can do it. And then I started training around 2012. What match was it that I had saw? I had seen John Jones fight Lyoto Machida. And at the time, everyone always said, like, I have a long reach myself. And Machida was the first person to hit Jones, right? So I thought to myself, like, what if John Jones knew karate? You know what I'm saying? It would be untouchable. And like, oh, well, why don't I fucking learn karate? So I started that. I started doing that first. I started competing kickboxing the next year. Like after 9 months of training that, started competing in kickboxing, started winning tournaments. And then I started taking judo at San Jose State. And at this point, I'm like, this is MMA. So I did my first MMA fight in 2015.
Wow, I mean it's definitely a unique story.
Yeah, it's an abbreviated
Okay.
story. But,
Yeah. Are you currently in camp for your next fight? I know you just beat James Porter by
so
decision.
I actually tore my bicep first round in that fight. So yeah, I know. I mean, I still won, obviously, but so I'm kind of like on the mend from that. I'm still kind of waiting to go get an MRI, see what the damage is. But I'm trying to. Hopefully, if everything's good, I can fight again in September. This is what my goal is, and try to finish up
Yeah,
the year
he's
with more fights.
James is from my hometown. He trains here in my hometown, so that was kind of interesting
Fresno,
to
huh?
see when I was looking last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
What drives you? I mean, the abuse that MMA fighters take, usually they have something specific that makes them think it's all worth it.
Man, at this point, man, I just want to see how high I can go. You know what I mean? It's going on. It's almost 8 years now. I've been doing this. I've been pro for I guess since 2021, but I've been an amateur for I don't know, however
A
that long
long
that was. I
time,
forced
yeah.
amateur fights a long time. Uh, yeah, man. I just want to. It just doesn't feel done yet. I'm not done yet. If that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, no, it
I'm not
does.
done yet.
So what would you say is your favorite fighter?
Anderson Silva.
Oh, okay, interesting choice. Interesting choice.
That's it.
What is it
He's
about
the best.
Anderson Silva that makes you like him?
Man, you just had to be there when in his heyday, in his prime, when he was like competing, when he was champion.
He was
Like,
pretty
he was just
untouchable
doing
back then, yeah.
untouchable. Well, he was just different watching the Anderson Silva fight like live. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I was already a fan, but really what solidified it for me was the Chael Sonnen fight, the first one. Like, just a fucking champion. You know, I don't. Anderson Silva's the he's to me
Yeah.
he's the goat. To me he's the goat. I mean, I guess his career kind of ended the way it did, but like, man, if you were there when he in his heyday in his prime, fuck, that guy was just like unreal. Like, this is not a human being, you know.
Yeah. Um, so what is it like? I know I think you switched gyms now, but what was it like training at AKA with all those current UFC champions and fighters coming in and out of there?
I still train AK.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
train
It had two gyms listed. It had AKA and another one. So I
no, so
wasn't sure which one was active.
okay, so I think in Topology, I believe it has my original dojo where I started at, and then
Oh, okay, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, but AK is my primary gym now. I've been at AKA since I think my first like session at AKA was like November 2017. So it's going on. I don't know what the math is on that now. Like 6 years, 6 years,
Around there,
about
5, I think. Yeah.
6 to 5. Yeah, 5 right now for sure.
Yeah,
But
6. Yeah. It'd be
it's
around
going on
6,
6.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I
So
mean,
I
it's man. Go ahead.
no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, to answer your question, man, it just helped evolve my game. Even this last camp, it was Cain Velasquez. It was like literally fucking doing one-on-ones with me, wrestling with Cain Velasquez. You know, it's just a blessing, man. You're just looking alongside. There's guys like me, and then there's guys like that are in Bellator that you've heard of and that you probably even heard of yet. You know what I'm saying? Guys like in the UFC, former tough winners. It's just the best gym, in my opinion. So like it just gives me a lot of confidence going into fights. And the funny story is I actually trained with James before he had fought. He had came to AK, so I already kind of. James is good. He's a good guy. He was a friend, which is why initially I didn't want to take the fight, but I guess the promoter kind of like tricked us both, to be honest with you. But I had already trained with James before, so I already knew how it was going to go. You know what I mean? So I was already confident going in.
So you're 32 now.
Yeah.
Do you have I guess any indication that maybe Bellator or UFC or PFL or any of them are, looking your way at any moment or any time? You're training at one of the most accomplished gyms in the world as far as MMA goes. So, I mean, that helps to build a certain repertoire, if you will.
So my last fight before that was an LFA. If you're familiar
Yeah,
with LFA.
I saw that
Yeah.
one. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it, but I saw that it was a
Yeah. No, yeah.
loss.
It was a loss. So it was a good fight, but I had ultimately lost, right? So had I had won, I would be in LFA, a couple more fights, get back to getting, maybe contender series or something. My next fight, however, it might be an A1 combat, which is another comparable feeder league. And then, but yeah, that's the goal ultimately. Um, there's Bellator comes to UFC, comes to San Jose. I'm not sure if how how it works, but like sometimes like Bellator and some of the shows they come into like different markets and they get local fighters around there. I'm not. It all depends on how fast I heal this thing, but if Bellator comes back around by the time my my bicep heals. I also have another knee injury. That might be the case, but it's looking like September at A1 Combat, and then a couple more fights. Probably go do Ultimate Fighter or something.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So I assume, based on what you've told me, that on the feet is where you like your fights the most. Standing is where you're
Yeah,
most comfortable.
I'm a striker. Yeah, I'm a striker. It's just yeah. I
Because I
mean,
had noticed some of your loss, or I think two of them were actually from back mount
back
TKOs or ref
Yeah,
stoppages. So I was like, maybe he's a striker. That makes more
I'm a
sense.
striker. It's not that I can't grapple. It's just the guys
No, no,
they
of course, yeah.
they're superior wrestlers. But yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah, when you've got wrestling trainers like Habib Nurmagomedov and Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez, the best grapplers in the world, arguably. I mean, I'm sure that helps to build that game significant
yeah,
amount.
you learn to wrestle by default, So even if but I'm a striker. Yeah, if I'm going into a fight, my goal is to put my hands on you. But I mean, if you watch my last fight with James, I took him down just because it's just drills. This is drills that we do. You know.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you have to have every aspect of MMA to a
Yeah.
certain level nowadays because everyone's been doing it for so long, as opposed to back in the day when you could just have one skill set and dominate everyone,
Yeah.
like an Anderson Silva, or until he got his jiu-jitsu to where it was, and Chael Sonnen fight and
Yeah. Well,
things
I
like
mean,
that.
actually, if you take back Anderson Silva back in the day was a dual threat. I like to say he had really good jiu-jitsu, had really good Muay Thai. So guys would just take him down and he would just submit them. But he wouldn't necessarily wrestle them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so you're looking to fight at in September at A1. Do you have any indication who your opponent might be? Have they
No,
discussed
no.
who that might
All
be?
all
Okay.
all, all I know is it's a potential yes that I might be fighting in A1 combat.
All
But I haven't
depending
given
on
them
the bicep and everything
yeah.
else.
How soon I can recover and how soon I can get back into camp. If everything goes well, I can get back and jump back to camp by July and, be ready to dominate in September.
So how much you fight in the middleweight, obviously, so around 185 pounds. How much weight do you generally have to cut for camp?
Weight cuts is not even really difficult for me because, I don't know, maybe because I've just done it for so long. I just know my routine. But I usually
Yeah.
walk around maybe like 200, 205. Uh, yeah, just, throughout camp or just whatever. Even when I'm not the heaviest I get, like if I'm out of camp, I'm not doing nothing, kind of just sitting around, maybe 207, 210. I haven't really, I'd have to be like a real, real, real fat piece of shit to like get up to like 215. But I walk around like
Yeah.
200, 205. And yeah, it's easy cut for me. By the time I hit the sauna, I'm like 196 and then just take out the rest. So it's nothing. Yeah, 200. I walk around like 200. That's like what most welterweights walk around. But I'm like
So,
really tall.
yeah. Yeah, you are tall. I mean, even just when you're sitting down, I can see that you're kind of a giant, especially compared to someone like me.
Oh.
So, what did you watch the fights this last weekend? The UFC
I
card?
did. I did. Yeah.
What did you think
Yeah.
of the main event? Did you have it for Cejudo or Sterling?
I had Sterling winning. I didn't even think it was a split decision, to be honest
So
with
did
you.
I.
You
Neither did
didn't think
I.
so? Or you
I
did?
thought he
Yeah.
was doing too good. No, I thought Sterling won it by unanimous, honestly, because the
Yeah. Yeah.
striking. I just thought he
I
had
didn't.
it, but I mean, hey, he still won. I would have been really shocked if
He won.
they announced Cejudo won, but you never know with
I wouldn't
judges
been.
sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I had thought Sterling had won decisively. I mean, not decisively, but like it was clear that Sterling had won a good majority of the fight. To
One
me.
way or another, yeah.
Yeah. To me. Yeah.
Um, So that's all I have for you. I
Okay.
really appreciate you coming on here and doing this for me.
Sounds good.
Good luck on your career and your
Thank you.
next fight, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon.
All right, brother. Sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. No worries.